So what are we, some kind of The Suicide Squad? Hey there guys, Tom here, welcome back to my movie channel, and thank you very much for joining me for this, my review of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. And I feel like I'm the last person on planet Earth to see this movie because there's been so many advanced fan screenings of this movie. But if you guys haven't been here before, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell. And let me know in the comment section below, have you guys seen The Suicide Squad? If so, what did you think of it? So before I say anything about this movie, I do want to say one thing first, just to preface this a little bit. I actually don't hate the 2016 Suicide Squad movie. I understand it's a hot mess. I know that it has plenty of issues. I'm not numb to those issues. I see them. But I had a good time with that movie. This movie, however, kicks that movie's fucking ass. The Suicide Squad is so damn awesome. It's one of my favorite movies I've seen in 2021 so far, and it's probably going to stay that way for a while. It is, to me, James Gunn's best movie, and I'm a fan of James Gunn. I enjoyed the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. The second one, not so much, but it's still a good film. And this review will not contain any spoilers, so you're safe from spoilers in this video. So, The Suicide Squad, obviously the setup, Amanda Waller bringing together a bunch of criminals who are in prison for various reasons to fight a greater threat. And what I liked about this movie, first of all, was that it doesn't act like the first Suicide Squad never happened. It doesn't overtly reference it. There are a couple of, indirect, sneaky little references to the first movie in this film, but it doesn't pretend that the first movie didn't exist. And that's what I appreciated about this movie, because very easily this movie could have just treated it as a reboot, as just a total reboot. And I would have been fine with that, but treating it like it is in the DCEU, because it is, and it does act like the first Suicide Squad, that movie is canon, whether we like it or not, that movie happened. And this movie treats it as such. What I love about this movie is that we are right in it from the very first scene of the movie. You're in it. You're like Amanda Waller bringing people out of the prison, putting them together, Suicide Squad on a mission. Go. And then the movie starts and it does not fucking stop. And I really don't want to make this video a comparison between the two Suicide Squad movies. But one thing this movie did so much better than the 2016 Suicide Squad was that this film really does make a great effort and does a really good job of giving these characters, these criminals, these horrible people, some of them murderers, and obviously Harley Quinn, psycho, but all the characters in this movie have motivation. They have reasons for what they're doing. You actually care about some of these people, and you get attached to these characters, and these characters have motivations. There are so many great moments of heart in this movie, so many surprising moments of heart, and you really get a good look inside who these characters are as people, not just through the lens of, well, they're bad guys and they're fighting a worse guy. And that's what I look for most in a movie, is great characters and great stories. And this movie delivered on both of those things. I'm going to start with talking about Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, because Margot Robbie's so good as Harley Quinn. She has so many great, wonderful moments in this movie. And she has an action scene in this movie that is just completely on another level. And I'm a big fan of Birds of Prey. I like that movie more than most people do. And there is an action scene that Harley has in this movie that rivals and is probably better than the cocaine sequence in Birds of Prey. And it took me a minute to work, which one do I like more? But this movie's so violent, and especially with Harley Quinn, so violent, so gory. It takes the violence and the goriness of the DCEU up until this point to a completely different level. And they use it for humorous purposes. They use it for dramatic scenes. They use it for just, really getting you immersed in the action. Another one of my favorites in this movie is Idris Elba as Bloodsport. I mean, that character's great. I want my own spin-off movie for Idris Elba, because that is one of the characters in this movie that they really do a good job of giving him a motivation and a reason for what he's doing. Obviously, it's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. The reason he agrees to be on the team partly is because of his daughter. And it does kind of beg the question, he basically is Will Smith's Deadshot. It's the same sort of cut and paste kind of character. I understand that they're two different characters based in the comic books. I get it. But, a sharpshooting assassin who's joining the Suicide Squad for his daughter, And then you look at the first one, you're like, why didn't you just go and get Will Smith? I mean, even people who don't like the 2016 version are like, yeah, but Will Smith and Margot Robbie were cool. So it does make me wonder that a little bit. But that being said, Idris Elba was great in the movie, and I want more Bloodsport. I really do. And then you have someone like John Cena as Peacekeeper. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind with excitement for the Peacekeeper show now, because he's great in this movie. And John Cena, you know, look, he's a thespian. John Cena is not. But in the hands of the right director with the right material in a supporting role, John Cena can be really effective. And this is the best acting I've seen out of him, because he does have a few really good, meaty, dramatic moments in this film that he really does sell really well. The biggest surprise for me in this movie was Ratcatcher. Oh my God. She's really the heart and soul of the movie. When you really look at this movie, she is the beating heart of this film. Similar to how Cyborg was the beating heart of Zack Snyder's Justice League. That character in this movie, again, another character that I just want to see more of. James Gunn did such a great job of giving you characters, even the ones in this movie that die, and there is a lot of death in this movie. Even the characters that die, I want to see more of, because somehow James Gunn found a way to make these characters fun and likable and characters you get attached to. But Ratcatcher in this movie, I want more of that character. She is the beating heart of this movie. She really anchors the movie from an emotional point of view. One of the dynamics that I loved in the movie was her relationship with Bloodsport. Not an actual relationship, but those two as teammates working together, and they have quite a few scenes, just the two of them together, and that works really well. It's really effective in this film. And then of course you have the ridiculousness of Starro. Like, on paper, I want to see the pitch that James Gunn gave to Warner Brothers, and then some corporate level, you know, studio exec who doesn't know much about movies at all is looking at a script going, the Suicide Squad fight a giant starfish. Are you crazy? And clearly James Gunn is, but he made it work. And you would think on paper, I would think at least, that a giant starfish is way more crazy and is going to turn out it's going to go so horribly wrong that Enchantress almost seems more plausible. For some reason, somehow, in the beautiful, horrible mind of James Gunn, he made me believe that a giant starfish was more plausible than Cara Delevingne as the Enchantress. Ooh. I really, really enjoyed the Suicide Squad. It's really hard to talk about this movie without going into spoilers. It's so tempting, but needless to say, I love this movie. I want to know in the comment section below, what did you guys think of the Suicide Squad? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Tom, and I will see you guys next time.